From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is U.S. Farm Report.
Welcome to U.S. Farm Report this weekend. I'm Tyne Morgan, and here's what's in store over the next 60 minutes. 1 year after Russia invaded Ukraine, has it spurred a realignment of world trade?
I don't think any of us would have imagined that as the war started a year ago that we would have record wheat exports out of the Black Sea.
So what's it like farming on the front lines in Ukraine? A first-hand view of the turmoil from Howard G. Buffett. An emerging market for soybean meal.
And market share is about 60% and has been 60% during the last 5 or 6 years.
Michelle Rook gives us a first-hand look at a market that has room to grow. And in John's world,
the longest conveyor belt in the world.
Now for the news, USDA taking a look ahead this week at the future of the ag economy, commodity markets, and trade this year at the annual Agricultural Outlook Forum. USDA is projecting 228 million total combined planted acres of corn, soybeans, and wheat. That's up 3% from last year. And as you can see, wheat plantings are forecast to hit 49.5 million, up nearly 3.8 million planted acres from last year. USDA also pointing to an uptick in the number of corn acres planted to 91 million. Chief economist Seth Meyer says the expectation for more corn acres is from lower input prices along with current commodity prices.
The corn to bean price ratio still gives you a little bit of favor to corn relative to where we've been at in history, hence that 91 million acres of corn.
USDA is projecting soybean acres to hold steady, and while soybean export demand is forecast to fall in 2023, USDA does see a boost in biofuels. The agency's Outlook Forum showing a projected 8% growth in soybean oil used for biofuels, up to 12.5 billion pounds. USDA also projecting China to remain the top export destination for all U.S. agricultural exports this year, with Mexico expected to remain in the number 2 spot, followed by Canada. The EPA also getting ready for spring, updating its label in several states for the use of dicamba. In Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa, there's now a June 12th application cutoff date, along with a growth stage cutoff of V4 for soybeans. In South Dakota, the application cutoff is June 20th. Growers and applicators must check the online version of the label within 7 days before application in case there have been any recent state or federal level updates to the dicamba product label. Despite the return of snow and cold this week, natural gas prices are continuing to fall right now, dropping more than 65% since mid-December. U.S. natural gas futures for March delivery falling below $2 per million BTUs this week for the first time since 2020. That's after hitting $8.37 last June. That's nearly a $6.50 sell-off. It marks a major reversal when shortage fears sent prices to the highest level in 14 years. It's the result of a drop in demand for liquefied natural gas in the U.S., but also globally. Abnormally mild temperatures this winter have eroded energy demand, causing inventories to swell above usual levels and prices to plunge more than 70% since November. A much delayed restart of the Freeport LNG terminal in Texas has also weighed on prices as it's shut down after a June explosion curbed export demand. And the market may have not reached bottom yet.
We're not seeing the big, 40, 50 cent moves anymore at this point. It's just a grinding couple, 3 cents, maybe 5, 6 cents here and there. And that just is against natural gas's nature. So I don't know that we're going to stay here all that long. When it turns, it's probably going to be a very volatile move. We just haven't seen signs of it yet.
Newsom suggests end users keep a close eye on the market because when it reverses, it will be a very volatile move and will happen extremely quickly. Brazil says it's temporarily halting exports of beef to China after detecting an atypical case of BSE. It was detected in the northern state of Para, Brazil, which is the world's largest beef exporter. Previously, it suspended exports to China for more than 3 months in 2021 because of an outbreak. The suspension could hurt Brazilian food producers as China is their largest export market. Well, EPA says it's ordering Norfolk Southern to handle and pay for all cleanup associated with that massive train derailment in rural part of Ohio. Ohio Governor and EPA Administrator Michael Regan visiting East Palestine again earlier this week. The agency saying it will approve a work plan outlining all the necessary steps for cleanup, and if the railroad fails to comply, it will take the steps to clean it up and bill Norfolk Southern for triple the cost. Over 2 weeks have passed since the train derailment, dumping toxic materials in the area near the border with Pennsylvania. It also prompted persistent environmental and health concerns from people and for animals in the area. Well, many viewers across the country are still digging out from that massive winter storm that caused power outages and other issues, but is another major storm on the way? We'll have a check of weather next.